What's poppin', world? Back at it again with another video for y'all. Y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Yet once again, we got a controversial discussion that we got to talk about. So without further ado, y'all read the title. Let's get right into it. Now, I've been pondering on this a lot, and I know I've reiterated this in a lot of my previous videos, but this is just a video to put an emphasis on what I mean and what ultimately led me to this conclusion, right? 40 hours is part-time, 60 hours is the new full-time, right? So let's start off where it all began. 2019, right? 2019. I'm gonna be honest. Let's be real for a second, right? There was no rush to own a home. You know, too much paperwork, too much nuance. You know, it's already hard enough at the time to really figure out what kind of an apartment you want to rent, right? So, before the pandemic, before people was more conscientious on the American dream, renting wasn't that bad, only just because you really didn't have to be cash strapped or pigeonholed if you still trying to figure out your lifestyle, where you're trying to live, what you're trying to do. You know, you never wanted to be stationary if you felt like there was more adventures you had to, you know, find out, more experiences you needed to have. So I feel like, honestly, owning a home, it was there, and I'm not going to downplay it like home ownership. I'm just saying it's more important than ever, right? That's the point I'm getting to. Now, when the pandemic happened and all this money was printed out, all these PPP loans got given out, all these stimulus checks got given out, right? It diluted the dollar to where inflation, I feel like things are going to just cost more. That's just the new norm, right? And I just feel like people just, not to say to get used to it, but we're going to have to work harder than the generations of the past, and maybe it might be even harder for the generation after this one, just due to how mishandled and badly, you know, this situation's been handled, right? So here's the conclusion of this video, right? Well, I feel like I came to this 60 is the new 40 is because, let's do a math problem, right? If everything increased, let's say 30%, 33%, price rise, right? Cars, housing, you name it. Everything across the board is now 30% more expensive. Well, what's percentage can you get 40 out of 60? Well, if you do the math, 20 goes into 60 3 times. 20 goes into 40 2 times. You put the 2 on top, put the 3 on the bottom. Now you have a fraction of 2 out of 3, right? So the missing part of what would make this fraction whole is an additional number, which is 1. But what is that 1 worth? That 1 represents 33% of what's missing. So if things are 30% more expensive, then you would have to work 30% more, or 33% to be, to be specific, to be able to close the gap in between how things used to be and how they are now. Things are worse. Let's just call it for what it is. Things are better, things are worse. Things got better, things got worse. So, it's tough, but that's the reality. So, I'm just leave it at that, man. I ain't got too much to say on this topic. Thoughts, concerns, comments, leave them on the video. More videos on the way. I'm up out of here.